This book is very much a conversation. It's very much a conversation between Phil and I talking about these characters and what we think it is about them that is so iconic and what makes them resonant today.
It is my understanding this is the first time a history of her people has been explored through the voice of a female author, through the voice of a woman. And I was sort of stunned by that. And again, working with this particular woman on this cast of women is what made this seem special and elevated at the end of the day.
We want it to read like a history book for a young Amazon who is learning about the history of her people the same way any child is taught the history of their state or their city or their country from the perspective of their people. There's this amazing thing that happens when you're working together on a book. It's a collaboration. Like I've said, I describe this book so much as a conversation, and it's very much a conversation between Phil and I. And there are other really important people who are a part of the book, but at the core, at the center of it is, he and I talking about these things these questions and these ideas and these things that are so important to both of us. And he brings such incredibly deep knowledge about Wonder Woman and her history and her world, and he's such an incredible artist.
I've never had a relationship with my writers in the way that I have with Kelly Sue. I look back on my career and I'm actually maybe a little melancholy about that, but at the same time I'm thinking that this is an incredible gift. That's magical to me because it's a sort of relationship in comics I've never had before. What's different about this is when I wrote and drew Wonder Woman 20 years ago, aside from being younger, it was just a very interesting time in comics. I've told this story many times, but I was essentially a glorified villain artist for a year that ended up having a run that people look back with fondness. What I have now, I think, is honestly, it sounds heavier than I intend, but it's a different understanding of the world. It's a different understanding, as much as I can in this body, of women, about how women navigate the world, of how we fetishize perfection in women. Like the Amazons for a long time had represented a perfect people. And one of the wonderful conversations Kelly and I had was about unfair burden. Think about women as people, think about the Amazons as people. I've clearly grown as an artist. I did almost the entirety of this work in pencil and then on Procreate on my iPad. So this is my first primary digital work, which is a reason it took me a long time to get started because I needed to get used to working digitally. And I think the effects speak for themselves. I'm very, very fond of what I call the Pope Hera spread, which is just her standing on Olympus, surrounded by all of her birds and peacocks. The second is I did a spread of the Queens of the Amazons. And I'm very, very fond of the art on that spread. I like the design work. I like the actual technical approach. I think there's some beautiful special effects that I could never recreate again. They were all accidents. And so they're quite lovely on the page.
What we refer to as the Vanity Fair spread. It is the 30 original Amazons, the 30 Amazons that are born from the goddess's original mission. It looks like a Vanity Fair spread. These are all powerful women, but the power is expressed so differently in each of their bodies. I don't know if it's even possible because of the amount of work that would be involved and the number of people that would be involved, but I am living to see a cosplay of the 30. I would like to see that recreated by 30 exceptional women in a cosplay thing, and it would be the most magical day ever.